Florida homeowners, it's not a question of if, but when the next hurricane will come. No matter what Florida weather has in store, Storm Smart has products that protect every opening of your home while improving the look, feel, and function. From durable aluminum shutters, high-impact windows and doors, to our innovative storm catcher screens, products that enhance the beauty of your home and keep your family safe. Because Smart is complete hurricane protection, and Smart is peace of mind. Call Storm Smart today for your free in-home consultation.
When your power goes out, remember just how inconvenient your life can be. No lights, no refrigeration, no heating or cooling, no electronics. But with a Generac home standby generator, you'll have power when you need it. Our Generac generators automatically provide backup power after sensing a power outage, so your life goes on uninterrupted. Get a free 10-year warranty with the purchase of any air-cooled generator. Call Generac Generators today. Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
Streaming from the ABC Action Weather Center in Studio A, this is Dennis Phillips Live. Brought to you by Storm Smart. Protect every opening of your home. And by Generac Generators. Life is primitive without power.
How you doing, everybody? It is a Tuesday night edition of Dennis Phillips Live. We obviously have lots to talk about. We've got some rain and some storms out there. We just talked to some folks here saying thunder is booming in Inverness. So if you're watching on the spot, Tampa Bay 66, OTA 66.1, my suggestion for folks watching on Facebook, and look, we've been doing this for, almost 20 years. Literally, we've been having this chat group on social and on streaming for almost 20 years, but we've gone to broadcast TV since July. And what a lot of folks are saying now, they're able to watch on TV so they can see the graphics better, which makes a lot of sense on the TV, and still follow along on the comments. So if you're new to the show because there's a tropical storm, Erin, out there, and by the way, the comments for Erin are hysterical. You know what? There is something about this, and whether you want to admit it or not, almost everybody up, you see that going to black behind me? That means there's lightning around. See, we don't need this high-tech stuff to tell me when there's lightning around. All I got to do is see when these monitors go to black, and I know that there was at least lightning somewhere around us, because it's been going on like that for years. But I digress. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't even remember. But anyway, talking about Erin, so I posted this on social. No offense to all the Erins out there, but your center is exposed, your environment is covered in dust, and you're lacking organization, which is true of Tropical Storm Erin. And apparently it's true in the lives of many of the Erins out there, because they are all rebelling, coming in on social and putting comments about it. So I appreciate that. And what I was saying is, so again, we are a very interactive show, right? We talk about the weather. When things get serious, and they do after last year, we all know that, we kind of stick to what's happening, and we really give you the information you need to know. But when we're on the fringe of something, or maybe it's just a typical night, there's a lot of interaction, there's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of commentary within the chat group amongst themselves. So what I was saying is, my suggestion is, look, you can watch on TV, whether it's 17 on Spectrum, 23 on Frontier, all the other sources, or if you have an antenna. And again, this is important, because if you haven't heard, we are going to be carrying all Lightning games, all Tampa Bay Lightning games this year. Preseason, regular season, and the first round of the playoffs. So you can watch them for free. You don't got to pay money for FanDuel or Bally's or any of the other stuff that you've done in the past. You get to watch all the Bolts games for free. And if you don't have cable, all you do, you take one of those little antennas you can buy at Walmart or Amazon for 20 bucks. You plug it into your TV, and you go where it says antenna, and you scan. And all these channels are going to pop up. There's probably like 30 or 40 channels in this immediate area that you can watch, and one of them is 66.1. That's the one you can watch this show. That's the way that you can watch all the Lightning games as well. Now, if you don't have the ability to have cable, we're going to have an announcement pretty soon on the Lightning's app of how you'll be able to watch it as well. So, I digress. We get back into what's going on. I do want to jump right into what's happening local right this second, because we are getting some thunderstorms out there, and some pretty feisty ones at that, moving into Highlands County. Matter of fact, that was a severe thunderstorm warning down there about an hour ago. You can see DeSoto County and eastern Hardee County, as well as Highlands County from Lake Placid. And this is moving south to north, so these storms are going to continue to move up toward the northern sections of Hardee and eventually into Polk County over the next hour or two. And then a few isolated showers, one close to Tampa. That's the one that just caused that monitor to go black. And a few more as you go into Hernando and Citrus County. But overall, and by the way, Michelle just said, don't forget my breaks. I am so appreciative of you guys. And there's a look at Futurecast, kind of scattered stuff over the next couple of days. But so what happens is we've gone to broadcast and there are commercial breaks. And I am terrible about timing out when these breaks run. Normally, if you're in the news, you have a thing called an IFB. Here, I'll show it to you. So this thing right here, you put it in your ear, and then your producer, who's in the booth, can tell you when you're supposed to go to break or when you're supposed to wrap. Keyword supposed, because I don't listen quite often. And when that's the case, they want me to go to break, and it's what we call a hard out. You have to be out at a certain time. Well, on this show, there's no hard out, but I got these 3 breaks to go in. This is the button right here that allows me or forces me to go to commercial break, but I'm not very good at timing it out. So by the end of the show, we have like 3 breaks that we have to fill in a couple of minutes. So I'm trying to get better at it. But guys, thank you so much for all your comments. I repeat, watching on TV, following on social is the best of both worlds. You see everything, but at the same time, you have the ability to converse. And when we're in commercial break, it is a one-on-one with this interaction. And we kind of get a little bit off the rails, and that makes it kind of fun when we do that. So let's go ahead and I want to jump right in to what's happening out there with Erin, and then we're going to talk more about models and what could be behind Erin in the next week or two. That's all coming up over the next 15, 20 minutes. So again, there is a look at what is a ragged, dust-ridden, disorganized, center-exposed Erin. And as she moves west, she is going to get better organized. The water right now is pretty cool, relatively speaking, where that center is, and then trapped by Saharan dust, so it's just not a good situation for development. But over the next 24 hours to 36 hours, it is going to move west. By the way, Charlotte, OMG, it's Wicks, is going to be on our show tomorrow. So if you're familiar with OMG, it's Wicks, if you're not, go on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook. He is hysterical. And he is the guy who has his finger on the pulse of Florida. Hysterical stuff. So we're going to have him on tomorrow. We're going to talk hurricanes first, and then we're going to have OMG, it's Wicks, to probably talk about hurricanes as well. That's tomorrow night on DPL. Do not miss it. But there's a look at the projected path. And at the end of the day, once Erin moves into warmer water, like imagine Erin going into a hot tub. And once Erin goes into a hot tub, you don't know what's going to happen, right? I mean, we kind of know that about our Erins. So once Erin goes into that warmer water, all of a sudden, she explodes, okay? Really heats up. Intensity picks up, and at the end of the day, she is going to be a major hurricane by this weekend. So the question we have then, looking at this track, what kind of an impact will she have on Florida, on the Bahamas, on the islands, or even potentially on the east coast of the U.S.? That is the ultimate question. And you know what? We're going to look at the models, and I'm going to answer that question for you coming up in 90 seconds. Man, I hit the brake on time for the first time in like forever. So now we are in commercial break. Right, if you're watching on streaming, if you're watching on Facebook, I got you here. But yeah, and I'm going to come back with some models because I do really want to get into all of that. So what is this right here? Okay, here's the spaghetti models. So let's go ahead and actually just have that one ready to roll. So how you guys doing? You doing good? All right, so clearly I am not concerned about Erin, or I wouldn't be this flippant. I mean, let's be honest, right? If I was concerned about it, you'd know the tone would be different. It just would be. At this point, we are very confident this stays north of the islands, at least the worst of it north of the islands. And even by then, probably not going to be that much anyway. But north of the islands, east of the Bahamas, and east of the U.S. That is if the models are accurate. 30 seconds left. It's the only thing I wish we had different. I wish this computer, or I wish I had a clock that I could see right here, as opposed to going out of your screen every couple of seconds to look and see when this countdown clock is. And I know, Derek, I don't know. Derek's over here looking at me like, it's over here, so I can't see the countdown, so I'm unable to address the camera. So, you know, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if there's a way to hook up a clock into this. But anyway, I'm talking to Derek over here, guys. All right, so we are back. So we are back. Again, the conversation runs rampant on social, but let's go ahead and jump right into what we were talking about. So I'm going to take this full so you can actually see it a little bit better. We got a lot of folks in here tonight. So either we have a lot of Erins who are protesting this show, and that's a possibility, because you know what? We have Erin coming up now. Imagine what it's going to be like when we have Hurricane Karen. Don't even want to get into it. It's obviously a thing, but there might very well be protests in front of the station, because you know me. If I'm not pulling any punches with Erin, imagine how I'm going to be with Karen. Anyway, there's a look at the official forecast track from the Hurricane Center. Eventually to become a Category 3 major hurricane as it makes a turn to the north. Here are the spaghetti models, all right? West, west, and then at the end of the period, you start to see that turn to the northwest, okay? So why is that the case? Why are we looking at that turn? Well, it's pretty simple, and I'm going to show you this with a map here. First of all, I'll go ahead and show you some more spaghetti models here. So this is the latest run of spaghetti models. I mean, look at that. That is a ton of consensus. That is a storm that almost assuredly will miss the United States. We've been saying this for days. You go back in history and look at what the average track is climatologically for a storm located where it is. Less than 5% of the time in the last 130 years has a storm where Erin is located has actually made landfall in the U.S. So you've got to like those odds, right? So that is a look at that. Here is the ensembles, okay? We've talked about this in the past. I'm keeping this full screen so you can see it a little bit better, all right? The ensembles are, this is the European model, and what it does, and this is over 15 days, right? It has 51 different formulas. And what it does, each one of those formulas, it tweaks the parameters of it just a little bit and comes up with a different solution, a different spaghetti strand, a different track. So what we do, this gives us a much better, you know, that's why meteorologists typically don't post the operational runs of an extended forecast, because they simply aren't going to be very accurate. But when you look at an ensemble, it gives you a much better idea of what the range would be. So this gives us and gives you an opportunity to say, well, most of the models are this way. Even if the operational run goes right into here, goes into Florida, we know that that's probably not the most realistic view. So that is the ensembles for the Euro. Now, here's the ensembles for the Euro AI, okay? And I'm going to show you this for two reasons. One, it is showing the main area offshore, right? But it also has another area out here. And you're like, well, wait a minute. What the heck is that? How come you're getting so much east of Florida and east of the U.S., but yet you have that other area in the Gulf? Why is that? Because that is a second system. That is a system that the Euro AI is trying to spin up toward the end of August. Now, let me be clear about something. The Euro AI last year was money. It was amazing. Accurate, as accurate as you will ever hope. This year, the Euro AI has been pretty terrible. 3 times it had those little blobs that were near Florida moving across the state and redeveloping as a depression or a storm in the northern Gulf. Never happened. 0 for 3, right? Early on with this particular storm, if you remember, the Euro AI had it into Florida, and then it shifted to the east. So its track record of late has been pretty terrible, okay? But when I show you this Euro AI ensemble, and that's what we like to look at, remember, we look more at the broad area as opposed to an individual run. But just for giggles, I will show you why that is an issue, because here is the Euro AI, all right? This is the Euro AI for Erin, which keeps it, look down here in the Bahamas, keeps it east, right? Stays east of the Bahamas, and then goes out to sea, never really making landfall. But look what's left behind. Look down in the Caribbean, because now remember, this is an operational run, so we don't put any stock into it. But the reason that ensemble is showing that in the Gulf is because it is a second system that develops and comes this general way pretty much at the end of August. Now, I show you that just to clarify why this ensemble showed what it did. Okay, here is the GFS. And the GFS is the American model. It, too, shows everything out to sea. So, folks, look. Here's the bottom line, all right? We have a ton of consensus with the ensembles in all the models. And this is actually a pretty simple forecast. You've got a big, here, I'll show you. I'll go back and show you this. All right, let's go back into this. This is going to be a little trickier to understand, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. All right, so you've got a big ridge of high pressure, okay? And think of this, see these highs right here? See these 3 highs? See that high right there? That looks like a spaceship. You got these big ridge of high pressure. Think of that as a mountain of air, a blocking high, okay? And then you've got low pressure up here in Canada. You have a trough of low pressure. And what will happen as that trough gets closer to this high, it will start to weaken the high. So the UFO will weaken as this comes in from the northwest, all right? And watch what happens. When you see the high, the ridge starts to weaken, it provides an opening, and there is the opening. See it? See the opening right there? See that? That's an opening. So you get this opening created by the weakness in the ridge, and look at the path where the storm goes. It creates a slot, and boop, right out to sea. That is the GFS. That is also, this is some bad data, but this is also the European. See the slot? See the weakness? Right out to sea. And there's that second one behind it. Now, the Euro doesn't bring that second system into Florida. It brings it out in the open waters of the Atlantic. But look, guys, it's Florida, and then it's hurricane season, so we got to expect there's going to be action behind this. And look again, look at there's that ridge breaking down. See where that high is? Off to the east of the storm. Creates an opening. Poof, gone. Now, the Euro AI actually does bring it close to the Canadian Maritimes. All right? So there you have it. That is why we are predicting, why the Hurricane Center is predicting that Erin and her exposed, dusty, disorganized self is going to get better organized and wreak a little havoc, get up to about a Cat 3, 120 mile an hour winds, and then say, zoop, I'm out of town, and just go right east of the U.S. That is the plan right now. All right? So what's behind it? Long range. And what are the odds of new systems developing? We're going to talk more about that coming up in 90 seconds. Okay, second break. All right, that is the second break. Someone just wrote, "Who's looking for love?" So, wait a minute. I'm totally honest. I'm having a tough time looking at all these monitors and looking at your comments. Because, honestly, the comments are my favorite part of this entire show. They always have been. It's just the way it is. Okay, what do we got here? Got another 50 seconds. Okay, so wait a minute. Someone's telling me I have to ban Bozo Bob. Anna Maria is saying, Bozo Bob is looking for love in all the wrong places. Danielle loves the new merch. We have added so much new stuff in the last 24 hours, too. Should you cancel your trip to St. Martin? Steve, I say no. I say no. And I'm going to answer some questions about that. Yeah, where is Bozo Bob? I gotta see Bozo Bob here. Wait a minute. I got to look for Bozo Bob. Because a lot of people are talking about you, Bozo Bob. I don't see you on here, so you lucked out. Okay. Wait a minute. We're in the last 10 seconds. And then we're going to show some more stuff. Okay. 3, 2. Welcome back to Dennis Phillips Live. By the way, getting a lot of comments on the new merch. Appreciate it. As always, proceeds of all our merchandise goes to Feeding Tampa Bay, Children's Miracle Network. And over the last 2 days, we have added so much stuff. Candles, Snuggle Alert stuff. Here, actually, you know what? What the heck? I'll go ahead and show it to you real quick. And you can get on the site by going to my Facebook page, which some of you are already on. Right at the top, you'll see the link. There it is. We have got all the tumblers, all the hoodies, all the zip hoodies, which people wanted. We've got the hats. We've got mouse pads. We've got candles, Snuggle Alert candles, heat lightning candles, lots and lots of mugs, old school mugs. We've got the old ones. We've got the new ones. We've got the everything else. And these new bags, too, are kind of cool. These clear plastic tote bags. There's the USF color right there. But these are all available on my Facebook page, and proceeds benefit Children's Miracle Network, Feeding Tampa Bay, Sunshine Foundation, and others. So let's go ahead and jump back to where we were, which was what's happening over the next 2 weeks. All right? Hoodies in Florida, Jeff, in the wintertime, yeah, absolutely. All right, so here's a look from the Climate Prediction Center the next 2 weeks. This should not surprise you. From now until the middle of October, it is going to be active. Look, we all know it, right? We can say that and hope that these storms are going to, by the way, I just had a question at St. Martin. I want to know if you're okay to travel to St. Martin. I would tell you, in my opinion, St. Martin is one of those places you're on the fringe of some action later on into the weekend. But right now, I think you're going to be right. You're going to be okay. It's really close. I would check tomorrow because, again, if Erin gets rid of her dusty, disorganized, center-exposed self and starts to actually get her act together, as we all want Erin to do, personally, not tropically, and if it stays just to the north, I think you're going to be okay. Cruises, you are going to be okay. They will go around this system. You got nothing to worry about, I'm telling you. But again, if you look at this, the dark red, solid red color means a 40 to 60% chance of a storm developing. So we clearly see development in the tropical Atlantic. But what don't we see? And this is really important. We do not see development in the Gulf. We do not see development in the Caribbean. Huge, huge. Every time I say that, it reminds me of Pretty Woman. Do you work on commission? Why, yes, I do. Big mistake. Huge. I got to go shopping. All right. I don't know why that quote just always pops in my head. Point being, Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, pick your choice. The Gulf, all right, and the Caribbean, both of which are tropical system free, according to the Climate Prediction Center, through the end of this month. So if the action is in the eastern Atlantic, more than likely the action is on the East Coast or up the eastern seaboard and not in the west coast of Florida, not in the Bay Area. All right? That is important. One last break, and we'll be back for our Heat Lightning question coming up in 90 seconds. This show just flies. Absolutely flies. I cannot even keep track of it. Yes, I did have that little break, that little Peter Brady moment, Anna Maria. You are correct. It is a Diet Dr. Pepper, Fernando. It is a Diet Dr. Pepper. I'm going to talk about that, actually, because I now drink the little ones. And it's just me, because I am one of those guys. I'll talk about this. And this next break is just, I love Monster Jam, Maya. Love Monster Jam. All right, I'm just going to be answering your questions. We're going to come back to Heat Lightning Round, and it's just Q&A. Because I feel sometimes that we don't get to do as much Q&A as, Bozo Bob is back? Where? I'm looking at Bozo Bob. All I'm telling you is that there's a lot of people who, there you are. Oh, Bozo Bob's like boo-hoo. You know what? Wait a minute. I've got you 20. Hey, Bozo Bob, you've got 25 more seconds left. And then you are gone. I mean, I don't ban people intentionally, but when we have a mass group of people and then you are mocking the banning process, sorry, that's just too much for me to stand. So here we go. We're coming up on the last 7 seconds. So you're off to the afterlife, Bozo Bob, in 3, 2, 1. Back for our Heat Lightning Round. We're going to be answering all your questions, starting banning Bozo Bob. I did find him, and he is ridiculing people. So actually, I didn't ban him. I was going to ban him, but I didn't. Because I kind of enjoy the conversation from people, because it's like a, get him. More people watch this show for banning, I think, than anything else, and that's a sad commentary. But anyway, what are you going to do? All right, so I'm here now just to answer your questions, all right? That is what we're going to do. Someone asked if this was a Celsius or a Diet Dr. Pepper. If you watch my show, you know I'm all about Diet Dr. Pepper. I used to drink the big ones, but then I left them half full everywhere. You ever see the movie Signs, where she leaves water glasses? Great flick, by the way. Great flick. Leaves water glasses all over the place. That's me with Diet Dr. Pepper. So at least if I get the little ones, it's far more likely to, oh, there's Bozo Bob again. Wait a minute. He says, don't kick me out, please. All right. Okay, I'll show some pity. Anyway, point is, these don't get left half empty, so I actually drink them all. All right, right now, for the next 2 minutes, I'm answering your questions. I am back from the break, yes. On Carnival this Sunday, you're going to Grand Bahama. You're going to be okay, Donna. It'll stay north and northwest of you. Dominican on Sunday, really close on the islands. I do think you're okay. I really do. Erica, heading to Atlanta this weekend. You're going to be fine. Nothing to worry about. Will South Carolina be okay? Look, guys, I think the entire eastern seaboard is going to be okay. What I think happens is you're going to get some surf out of this, but I do not believe there will be impacts other than some high surf along the coast, and that is the entire area. Now, what about Central America, Joanne's asking? So that could be that next system that I'm talking about. The Waffle House, Luis, will remain open, and I'm sure OMG, it's Wix. We'll be talking about that tomorrow. So if you're watching on broadcast, you only got another 40. This show flies. Tomorrow night, OMG, it's Wix will be on DPL Plus, talking about Florida, maybe talking about Publix hurricane cakes, all the things that y'all talk about on social media. But we will start the show, obviously, with the latest update on Erin. I don't think there'll be much difference tomorrow, but I do think on Thursday there will be. So if you have questions for me about this storm, flip over to social media, to my Facebook page, and I will be answering all your questions. Deb wants to know about where you can get Rule Number 7 merch. I'll answer that in a question. Folks, thanks for watching. See you tomorrow night on DPL. Okay, so we are still here. The folks who just asked about where you get the merch, if you go to the top of my Facebook page, you will see the link, but I will give you the link. It is rule-7-shop.fourthwall.com. So rule-7-shop.fourthwall.com. The link is on top of my Facebook page. And again, proceeds benefit those local charities that we talked about. There's tumblers, there's hoodies, there's zipped hoodies, there's whatever this is, it looks like a tank top or something. There's more hoodies, there's zippered hoodies, there's t-shirts, there's hats. I just bought 7 new hoodies, and they're supposed to arrive in a couple of days. Snuggle Alert candles, and I did that for a good reason, because I can't wear the same one every time. Look at this Dennis mug. One of our local viewers created the artwork for that. It's pretty hysterical. So anyway, that is what's going on. You can get it from rule-7-shop.fourthwall.com. And the hoodies, I cannot wait till the new ones come. They're going to be coming soon. All right, let's go back. So I think I've kind of answered all the questions about Erin. Now, you were asking about the second system. All right. There is nothing there. The Euro AI and the Euro are hinting at additional development around the 22nd or 23rd of August. A completely different system. Look, I'll show it to you, since that's kind of what we do here, if you missed it earlier on. It's certainly nothing to fret about. But, you know, look, we are coming up on the heart of the hurricane season. So it's to be expected that you're going to see that. So what we're looking at here with the Euro AI is the track of Erin out here, right? And then you've got this second area. Here, I'll clear this out so you can see a little bit better. See this second area here? That is not Erin. That is the Euro AI saying something else is going to develop. Now, the European does show it as well. Here's a look at the European. It develops a secondary system. There goes Erin out to sea. And look, it develops this one out here. See it down here? And it brings it out to sea. Well, the Euro AI also develops a second system. Look at it down here, closer to the islands. See it? Over Puerto Rico. And then eventually turns this into a system into the Gulf. That's actually on my birthday. It's near the end of August. So, and by the way, we've had several hurricanes on my birthday, the end of August, many times in the past. So that, I am only showing you that because I was showing you why the ensemble was showing some stuff in the Gulf. It is 2 weeks out. It is fantasy land. It is more than likely not going to happen. But I showed it to you because we do focus on the ensembles. And the ensembles did show some action in the Gulf. So that is why we had it. Okay. So any other questions? Bozo Bob. Yes, no one bans Bozo Bob. Everyone loves him. Bozo Bob, I respect your pot stirring ability. I do. But now you're getting me to the point where it's like you're daring me to ban you. So I don't know what to do here. I'm twisted. I'm torn on this one. I'm torn. I want to keep you around. I'm going to keep you around for now until we see what else happens, because I kind of like Bozo Bob. All right. Son's birthday is the 28th. Always, yeah, Ashley, it happens a lot. Really does. Leaving Miami for Nassau on a cruise on the 18th. Horace, I think you're going to be fine. Cruise ships find a way of going in other directions if there is something out there. Denise, please ban Bozo Bob. He is back. Not to say it. Wait a minute. Renee, you wanted local? Hey, I can give you local weather. I don't know if that's what you're actually asking for, but we did have it earlier. Well, I'll give it to you again. Okay. There you go. There are hats and caps, Ken. If you go to that site, there are hats and caps for rule number 7. There's the radar. Still looking at some rain across Citrus and Hernando and Highlands County. I got to show you the hats now because you asked for it. And again, because the proceeds benefit charity, you know, I think it's okay to show it. Rule-7-shop.fourthwall.com. The link is at the top of my Facebook page. Here are the hats. See? You got a white embroidered, you got a pink embroider, and you got a black embroider. And there's all sorts of different colors. So I have this one. No, I don't have the pink one. I have the I have the white embroidered. So I have the white embroidered with a khaki hat. I got this one. That's the one I got. But there's lots of them. You want pink, you want this color. They're all embroidered, and they're pretty awesome. Then you've got, anyway, you guys have seen all this, but that was, Ken just asked about hats. All right, any prediction? Let's see, what else? Mid to west side of Florida affects Alexis. From Erin, 0. The only impacts from Erin will be surf on the East Coast based on the current thinking. Dawn wants to know Dory wants to know what you missed. Dory, I don't even know how to begin. there's so much. Boy, everybody's saying ban. Everybody's saying ban him. You know what? I can ban him for Sherry wants to know who is Bozo Bob. How did I lose this show? It's just all of a sudden it's just gone. And that's what happens. It's just what happens. All right, wait a minute. I'm going to scroll. I'm still scrolling. There he is. All right, here's what I'm going to do. All the merch is Bozo Bob approved. I got to keep him. Sorry. He approves the merch. So what are you going to do? All right, what about the Bahamas? Now, Laura wants to know about the Bahamas. Eastern Bahamas are not quite in the clear. Not quite in the clear yet, all right? If this storm were to continue ragged, and if Erin were to continue to expose her center with a dusty, dry, disorganized area for another 36 hours, stays weak, it could go a little bit more south and west, and when it starts to turn, it could skim by the eastern Bahamas. So that is a possibility. And that's probably as close as it would get, is the eastern Bahamas. Would I cancel Puerto Rico plans? I would not. I would not. Here, let's go back and look at the spaghetti models again. We can kind of go over. Yeah, let's show you this, because that's a good question. So look at the track, all right? Look where Puerto Rico is. And look at where that track is. With this kind of a track, I would not cancel. If we were to see a track more like this, it's more marginal. But there is a lot of consensus on this track right there. And if that's the case, I mean, it might be kind of squally, but you'll be on the southwest side. And hold on, let's see. At what point, how strong will it be right there? I mean, some of the models do have it as a Cat 2. I don't know. I personally would. I think they'll be okay, Brittany. I think they'll be okay on Monday. I do. I would not worry about cruises at all. I swear I wouldn't, guys. See, some people are saying give Bozo Bob a chance. Boy, you got this is it. I agree. I'm keeping Bozo Bob. I'm keeping him. All right. Yeah, the screens are glitching a little bit. I noticed that myself, guys, and I don't know why. And that is a good question. I wondered if it was just me or the monitors, but I have noticed a little bit of a glitch. Now, behind me, if they're glitching, it's because of lightning around. But I've noticed this whole screen is glitching a little bit, so I'm not sure. Oh, Bozo Bob. All right. Well, you know what? Thanks for coming by, I think. Now, I'm not saying, Renee, I'm not saying Erin's a nothing burger, because Erin could potentially impact Bermuda. So that is something we will watch. A track like this could be real close to Bermuda. But otherwise, I would say for our area, it is not a problem. You're going to be in the Arcadia National Park in Maine next weekend. Let's look. Let's look. No, you're good. Way offshore. Well, actually, the Euro is a little, let's call it the 18Z actually, because this is kind of some bad data anyway. Let's just call it the 18Z on the Euro and see what it shows, shall we? Okay, so if it'll load, all right. So here's the 18Z, which is not as accurate as the 0 or the 12, but might not go out that far. It's only going out to Monday. Oh, my son is calling me. Stand by. Yeah, it's not going out that far. But Rain, there could be something out of there. Josh Phillips, you are live on Dennis Phillips Live. How goes it?
I'm so bad at this.
Yeah, here's the thing. Just so you know, it is on every night, Monday through Friday.
Is it 8 or 8:30?
8, no, it's 7:30, not 8 or 8:30. It's 7:30.
It's 8:09.
Yeah, but we're on. We stay on for a while.
No, I know.
So.
I'm glad to hear it. All right, well, I was just going to tell you about a good restaurant that I just had, but I'll let you go and I'll talk to you.
Okay, I'll call you later, buddy. I love you.
I do. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye. He's like, I always forget. Not every night. How can you forget? Okay. Commodus giving Bozo Bob the thumbs up. Disney on Sunday. Danielle, Disney, I will give a thumbs up on Sunday. Matter of fact, I might even be there on Sunday. I might even go there on Saturday. I'm thinking about it. Summertime is, as a Floridian, most Floridians don't like going to Disney in August because it's too stinking hot. But we are debating about it. Haiti and the Dominican. Again, I think Haiti and the Dominican will be fine. I think it will be fine. Is that about it? When will we get rain in Newport Richie? Yeah, scattered stuff for the next 5 days. Supposo Bob is talking to Anna Maria. Boy, that's a conversation. I'd like to be a fly on the wall. Bridget, see you later. Thanks for coming by. She might already be gone, actually. Let's see. Flying to Sarasota. Flying to Sarasota on Saturday, leaving Orlando the 28th. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Chase says 18Z GFS is further east. Makes sense. Yeah, Ryan normally does call. She has not called, which is kind of surprising. So Izzy Jr. is so disappointed about you, Dennis, and the buzzer. I don't know what that means. Dominique saying, welcome to the family. Not going to affect Pinellas, that's correct. April, also going to be at Disney this weekend. Any chance it goes over to Tampa? No. Yeah, Jenna, I don't disagree. June to September, most Floridians try to avoid Disney because it's just so stinking hot in August. December is awesome. Now, Wendy, that is the best time. I'm with you. With the Christmas decorations, well, I always go to the Candlelight Processional. Candlelight Processional is my favorite event on earth. I will tell you, I'm going to make a commentary on this one. So, I love the Candlelight Processional. I've noticed it's flickering again. Why is that flickering? I got to go back and see if it's flickering on air. Hey, Jay. Jay's not there. Yeah, I definitely see a flicker. So is that the camera or is it lightning or what is it? It's definitely doing some flickering. We need to troubleshoot that. Anyway, the Candlelight Processional used to be with all these choirs, all these student, junior high, middle school, whatever, senior highs, high schools, and they have this massive choir and sing the Christmas story, and it's amazing. It's my favorite event of the year, like literally my favorite thing on earth. Last year when I went, they didn't have the schools. They just had Disney employees do it and not the schools. And I'm not down on Disney employees because Disney employees are awesome, but I really missed seeing the size and the scope of all the youth choirs involved. So if anybody in Disney is watching, I give the youth choirs and the schools a thumbs up, and I give just the Disney employees kind of like this because I think that takes away some of the excitement. I've never been part, I know so many kids who did candlelight and then they grew up as adults and it was some of the highlight that they've ever had. So I truly, truly hope that we get back that. I really do. All right. So anyway, I guess that's about it, guys. We've kind of, Epcot, James, I'm with you. Epcot in December is awesome. John likes Bozo Bob. So there you go. We kind of have a 50. See, Diane saw the flicker, but it's not flickering on Facebook. Kimberly, I think I saw it flickering. I did. I don't know. All right. Can you talk about the system? I already talked about that. Yep. I will talk about it again one last time. I mean, hold on. See, there's the flicker again. All right. There's something going on with that. I mean, I know it's flickering on YouTube too. Yeah, there's definitely a flicker. There is a flicker on KJ. I just saw it looking on my Facebook page. So I'm not sure why. New spot marked by the NHC. Let's look. Because that would have just happened while I'm doing DPL. So thank you. See, this is what's awesome. It's the one in the Caribbean. Yeah. So that's an interesting one. Chance of development is minimal, but so there was a blow up in the Caribbean today. We kind of saw it. Nantucket is going to get some surf, Kim, but that's about it. I don't know what's flickering. Like the whole thing kind of flickers, KJ. And I've seen it do it now a good bit today. Anyway, there's that disturbance. So right now there's a little, here, I'll show it to you on satellite too. Let me call it up on my computer here. Hold on, I'm going to call it up on this one. Stand by. I'm over here on the other computer, which you're not seeing. Here we go. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to call this up here. The numbers that you're going to see are not right. I've not updated them. But look at the blow up right there. See that? We got a blow up in the Caribbean. Now, it's going to go across Central America, go in the Bay of Campeche, and the Hurricane Center now has it as a 10-20% chance of development. Tropical wave over the northwestern Caribbean is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms. The system is forecast to move west-northwest and cross the Yucatan Peninsula on Wednesday. No significant increase in organization. Some development is possible after it emerges across the southwestern Gulf. So they're saying once it gets into the Bay of Campeche, maybe it could turn into something. So Anna Maria is saying no flickers on her tablet. You know, it might be a flicker on my computer here. Bozo Bob is just stirring the pot. And you know what? That might be very well why I like him. Because I am a natural pot stirrer. And he apparently is too. Anyway. Okay. So there we are, guys. There's that new little area. Not interested. There's some other stuff. No big deal. And then way out there, there is dusty, musty, disorganized, lack of organization, exposed center, Erin. So there it is. And those numbers ignore it because that's a different scene. And Elizabeth's like, hi, Bozo. So like, Bozo now has his own fan club. No flickers on your Mac. See ya, Asham. How you doing? See you later. All right, guys. That is it. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, OMG, it's Wix. If you don't know, you need to go on Insta or go on TikTok or go on Facebook and search OMG, it's WICKS. And watch some of his stuff before you watch. Because he's super funny, and he's actually apparently going to be doing a stand-up routine. He's starting some stand-up, I think in Orlando at the end of the month, I think is the last that I heard. So that's going to be fun. So we'll be back talking about the storm, talking about potential additional, there's that flicker. I just saw that flicker again. Now, was it on those monitors or was it here? We have to figure it out. All right, I will figure that out. So you guys have a great night. Thanks for coming by, and we will see you on tomorrow night's edition of Dennis Phillips Live. See you guys.